Hey there, Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising. Welcome to your reading for the week of January 2nd through Sunday, the 8th of January. Happy New Year to you. You guys have some great energy here. You have the Wide Open card. The Wide Open card says you are standing on the precipice of change and anything you want, all options are open to you. That's amazing. What a great way to open up the year. So we do start off this week with the moon in your sign and Venus changing sign. She rules your sign. She's moving into Aquarius. And so, it's a very productive way to start the week. But let's see what else comes out here. You guys showed up here as the key to the situation, by the way. We have the card of the Hierophant showing up here in the key. So that's lovely. I am going to do the collective video on the 1st, on Sunday the 1st, and it's going to be covering that Venus moving into, wow, you guys, what cards? Moving into Aquarius energy. So, all right. You guys have, you have the card of doing a deep dive. This is about not letting your fears overtake you. So, card of the moon. We have a full moon, though, this week. Be on the lookout. I'm going to do full moon videos also. So, be on the lookout for your full moon video. That might provide more information for you on that. That full moon, though, here we have, oh my gosh. Okay, here we have the dark of the one dog and the light of the other. And this is the year of the Chariot, which also is about intention and action and being in alignment with what it is you want to accomplish. The full moon is the completion of a cycle. And so it's really like they're both baying at it. And so it is a nice little alignment kind of thing. I've never noticed that on that deck before. And so when you are willing to look at it from underneath, it's almost as though you're doing the deep dive and you're looking up and you're saying, okay, what are all the steps that I have to take to get to where I want to go? Because here on this Hierophant, he's sitting right below the steps, right? And the goal is up here, and he's very grounded. Taurus, you're very grounded, and here's the steps that you have to take. And so it's almost like when you do the deep dive and look at it from the underside, the underbelly, to see all of the perspectives of it, you will know which way to go with this. And at the top, it's almost like at the top here is you. It's like this is you picturing all of your opportunities right there and making a plan this week. So I think this week you do a lot of planning to get to where it is that you want to go. The choice of walking, it's like streamlining, like releasing the parts that don't work, figuring out what does work, really organizing yourself in that direction and really allowing yourself to shine. So I think this is a week where you're also considering how hard you worked last year. And in 2023, you're probably thinking, how can I work smarter, not harder, so that I have more time for enjoying life? Because that feels like a very important kind of aspect. And so I do know Tauruses enjoy working, and so I'm not saying that. But I think that over the holidays, when things kind of slow down and we spend more time with family and friends, we realize we don't spend enough of that. And so how can you incorporate more of that downtime as a routine, so it's not just always only during that 2-week vacation or whatever? Like how can you have more of that on a regular basis so it becomes a part of the flow of your life, not a break in your life, because it's better when it's in the flow. So that's what it feels like. So here we have the 6 of Swords. There's this healing thing going on here that you've been focusing on. So healing of a relationship, healing of your own personal energy, healing from a physical ailment, which would, of course, really would want you to have a different kind of flow of pattern, right? There's this healing. It's either mentally, emotionally. It could be financially, but I'm looking at this and I'm not really picking up money off of this very much. And so I feel like it's more about the balance in your life. So healing some kind of a situation. In the area of what's tapping your resources, we have the 8 of Pentacles. That means that you've been working really hard. You've been working really hard, and the obstacle, the 7 of Wands, trying to keep everybody at bay, trying to stay focused on what's important to you. And it's kind of a struggle because I feel like there's been some factors coming into the situation. And maybe you're struggling to figure out, how do I bring everything together in a way so it doesn't feel like they're coming at me? Because the way to transform the situation is the 8 of Wands. So it is a progression. But what's interesting is when this is the challenge, the 7, where they all seem to be pointed at you, But the Eight of Wands is everything is pointed at the same goal. So again, I think this has a lot to do with you figuring out what are the steps, right? If you look at it that way, this light here is at the top, almost like these are the steps I have to take to get everything together so it all falls together. So whatever the big plan is, and I feel like there's a big plan, especially because we're wrapping up that North Node in your sign this year. And so I think things have been coming into your view. And you're seeing that I have a lot of options. I have a lot of things I can do. What do I want to do? And how can I have everything that I want? How can I manifest and create everything I want in a way that really, really works for me? You have the Sun as the action to take. So focusing on the joy, letting yourself shine, letting your skills shine, letting yourself out to play, get out in the sunlight. I feel like really opening up to everything that the universe has to offer you right now and really accepting the abundance of the universe. In the area of resources, we have this Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups says that you're walking away from something. So, Eight of Cups in this particular deck, it says something like, in a rebellious act of self-love, she chose to walk away from what doesn't work for her. So some of you may be actually considering, is this job worth it? Could I make nearly enough money, nearly the same amount of money, maybe getting paid a little less, but having more of a life, right? Or, it's just really hard for me to think of a Taurus thinking that way, but you might. I really think it's about how do I have more life? In some way, more life and less stress. Because these wands are all pointing in the same direction as opposed to pointing in different directions. And so I think you're taking a hard look at your life and figuring out where it is you can make the big changes. You have a lot of major arcana here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So like half the reading is you're being divinely guided and moved in this direction. And we have passion in the heart space. She's making her own music. So what are you passionate about? What are you excited about? What lights you up? What allows you to really shine out there in the world? That is a big focus this week, focusing on that. And so it's going to require a couple things. It's going to require you taking a different look at things, seeing things from a different perspective. Look at him, he's just laughing with joy. He is so centered and grounded. He's laughing with joy. He knows what the steps are. He knows what he's going to accomplish. And he's very confident in the whole situation here. This is the most upbeat reading I've done all week. I really like it. Here to anchor your energy into is the Hanged Man. So, we have a slow start to the year. Mars is in retrograde until the 13th. Mercury is in retrograde until the 18th. So things are kind of slow right now. Great time to plan. Great time to organize. So we have this planning energy, but it requires you to look at things from a different vantage point. Much like this Moon card. Looking at things from a different vantage point. Being really in touch with your emotions. It may be that you got too deep into your emotions and it kind of threw you off. And here she's not in the water, but she's in touch with them. Her hand's in the water. So she's in touch with her emotions, but not drowning in them. So there's two ways to look at it. Either, regaining a little emotional stability, but not shutting it down, not saying, I'm not going to feel that. But feeling what's important, what really matters, and seeing things from a different perspective. Because where are you supposed to anchor your energy is into the star. This light up here, she's pulling it down with her string, but that string is her intentions. She knows what she wants to bring in, and it's hand over hand to pull it down, to pull it in, to bring it in. So yes, you're going to have to show up and you have to do the work, but hey, that's not a problem for a Taurus. There's some signs when I say that, I think, I don't know if they can do it. You guys, I think that's not the problem at all. I think the key, though, is going to be feeling very much like this work, these choices, this decision making. This is all in alignment with what helps you to feel joy-filled on every level. Not just because when you look at your bank balance, but when you look at the whole thing. Okay, so this is walking away from, the need to be right all the time. You have the card of pardon and you have the card of illusion. So during the first part of this week here, when that moon is in Gemini, it's going to be important that you understand and have compassion for yourself. Like, yeah, we don't get it all right. We really don't. None of us do. If we did, we wouldn't need to be here. This is a playground and this is a school. And fun and learning should be fun. And so when we have a lesson and it's difficult and it's tough and we think, oh my God, I shouldn't have made that choice because that really jacked everything up. This is where you say to yourself, yeah, you know what? I didn't get that right, but I learned something from it. So what did you learn? That's looking at it from a different point of view. And also, if I didn't get everything right, the dawning realization that it's an illusion. Being right is just an illusion anyways. So if you don't get it right, then it's really a lot to expect that other people should get it right all the time too, isn't it? That's a shift in perspective. And so as you learn to be compassionate and kind and caring toward yourself, you realize, you know what? Okay, so maybe I could be a little less demanding of everybody else's perfection, right? The hardest thing I ever did was learn how to forgive myself for not being perfect. But when I realized that, oh, it's okay, I screwed things up, and I got to the part where I was like, okay, yeah, but my intentions were good. I just didn't necessarily make the right steps. When I got to that point, then I was able to start looking at various things that people had done that impacted me that was very uncomfortable for me. And I would think, yeah, but what was motivating them? And I realized that it didn't have almost anything to do with me at all. It made it really easy. And so I think that by the time we get to the middle of the week, though, and we have that sun trining Uranus in your sign, you're going to be like, okay, I'm ready, and I'm ready to get back to work here. So I think there's a little bit of, at the beginning of the week, where you're, maybe you take a day or two to assess a situation and to figure out what needs to be done, and you kind of drill down into some details, and you move past the illusions here into what are the facts. And there's this pardon also, to me, sounds like reconciliation. And reconciliation is doing books, right? It's like balancing the books kind of thing. And so this could be an emotional balancing of the books. It could also be literally balancing of the books. We're starting a new year. And so if you are doing those kind of things and knowing that you have to do this work has been kind of detracting from you having fun, maybe getting back to work and getting everything all organized is one of the things that happens this week, because you have the back on task card that comes through in the middle of the week when that moon gets into Cancer. And we do have a full moon in Cancer, and I will be doing a video for that for your signs, to be on the lookout for that. But they do think that you're going to be like, okay, what do I need to do, right? It's an octopus with 8 legs. It's this 8 of Wands energy. How do you transform a situation? You get back on task. Like, what are the steps that you need to do to take to accomplish what you want? This is where you shine. This is where you shine. So the most important thing that you do, if you're watching this video on Sunday, the 1st, is to really focus on what do you want to accomplish this year. But then I think you really, when that moon is in Gemini, you find that it's very easy to sit down and really write out the steps and everything. And I think you roll up your sleeves and you get back to work in the middle of the week. Be sure you're using your time in the best possible manner. You might consider reviewing your goals your schedule or projects you're working on all could use some fine tuning. We have retrogrades right now. Perfect use of that energy. I think everybody should be getting that card. And this is the first time this showed up, and I'm almost done with the videos. So that's exactly what I think this week is about, is getting back on task. It is about doing the research and reviewing and scheduling things up and figuring out what are the necessary steps we have to take, because by the time we get to the end of this month, by the 21st, when we get that new moon, things are starting to move forward, and we're going to want to be up to speed, not running to catch up. You have the card of energy. You have the card of energy. I think that you're going to feel a lot more revitalized. I think you needed that break. If you took one over the holidays, it allowed you to do some healing, catch your breath a little. But working this year in a way that allows you to feel more imbalanced is going to be really important and really assist you in your overall goals. So you have healing energy and immense vitality flow through me easily and effortlessly. If you are not feeling revitalized, one of the things to review is how can you be more efficient with your time so that you have more downtime in 2023. That is a message that seems to be super loud and strong here. I almost feel like give yourself the break that you need. Pardon, right? It's an excuse. You're excused from work a half hour early today, or you excuse yourself. How can you build in time to have a whole and complete life? How can you do that? I know you'll figure it out. All right, Taurus, you guys have a great week. I look forward to seeing you when I do the live chat. That's Sunday nights at 7:30 Eastern Time Zone. We'll be pulling cards for Venus, moving into Aquarius. And since she's your chart ruler, that might be really beneficial for you. The full moon videos will be out this week, and I'm on Facebook every day. You guys take great care. I can't wait to see what you do with this. I'll talk to you soon.